Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play the entirety of this video and then I will go back and talk about things that are going on to better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think that were done right and or done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
Hello, I'm David Livingstone, Chief of Police for the Simi Valley Police Department. This video briefing intends to provide the public with information regarding an officer-involved shooting that occurred in our community on October 5th, 2021 at 7:47 p.m. You are about to see video footage, hear a 911 call, and learn about other evidence and police procedure related to this case. We are releasing this information to continue our commitment to transparency with our community and thus provide you with a better understanding of this event. The Simi Valley Police Department conducts thorough use of force investigations. These investigations require significant personnel hours to interview all witnesses, view video footage, and analyze various types of physical evidence. Currently, we are at an early stage of this inquiry. However, it is crucial to the Simi Valley Police Department that we keep our community informed of our efforts. In this briefing, you will see body-worn camera footage of an officer-involved shooting. Please remember that body-worn camera footage captures a specific perspective, not necessarily the same as the officer involved in the event. The camera may capture things the officer cannot see or hear. Conversely, the officer may see or hear things not captured in the recording scope of the camera's view. Finally, the video and images you are about to see may be disturbing. When officers use force to protect life or defend against an attack, it can be graphic and difficult to watch. Viewer discretion is advised, especially for children or sensitive viewers. Simi Valley police officers responded to a radio call of an assault with a knife near the 7-Eleven located at Yosemite and Los Angeles Avenue. You will hear the 911 intake call received by our communications center, followed by the initial dispatching of officers to that emergency call.
911 emergency, what are you reporting? Hi, CHP, it's a transfer 7-Eleven on Los Angeles and Yosemite. I have more. Okay.
Yeah, this girl on the street, she's out of her mind and she just pulled a knife on me for no friggin' reason.
Okay.
And she's out of her mind. She's talking about demons and Satan and crazy shit like this. And I don't remember this and she doesn't remember that. I don't know who she is. I think her name's Sarah. But she just pulled a knife on me and I want to have her arrested and I'm pressing charges.
Okay, and do you have a description of her by chance?
She's about 6 feet tall, brown hair to like above the shoulders, but it's kind of like the Dutch boy cut.
Okay, was she white, black, Hispanic?
White.
Okay. And you said this was the 7-Eleven on which street?
Yosemite and LA Avenue.
Okay. And where is she at now?
She's in 7-Eleven.
She's inside 7-Eleven? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And what is your name, sir?
Lawrence.
And your last name? And a good callback number?
Yes.
And was there a reason she pulled the knife on you, or was she just acting crazy like you stated?
She's just acting crazy. I just told her that she started screaming. I said, you can't be here yelling and screaming. And all of a sudden, she starts swinging at me. And I'm sitting down, and then I stand up and say, you need to leave. And all of a sudden, I realize she's swinging a knife at me.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, hell no.
And are you going to...
I'm not down with it.
Are you going to stand by the officers? Okay.
Yeah.
And you're still...
Absolutely.
Are you in your vehicle? Are you inside the 7-Eleven?
No, I'm outside by the donut shop. She's in the 7-Eleven right now.
Okay. And what are you wearing, just so officers are aware?
I'm wearing a red hoodie. It says Canada on it.
Okay. And your color of pants?
Black. I have paint on them from work.
And is the knife with her now? Did she drop it on the floor? Are you sure?
Who knows what she did with it? Who knows what she did with it, but I have a witness to it.
Okay.
It was like a pocket knife that she undid.
Okay.
Like swinging it at me. I was like, really?
Okay.
I'm not down with that.
All right, we'll get someone out there as soon as we can, okay?
All right, thank you.
5 respond code 3 or 417 just occurred at 711 5820 East LA Avenue, 5820 East LA Avenue. DP Sarah Repp for the RP is out of her mind and pulled a knife on him. States she is talking about Satan and demons. White female, brown hair, black hoodie. She's currently standing inside of 7-Eleven. RP standing by in a black hoodie and jeans to the front of the donut shop.
346 Elliott hit range.
Moments later, patrol officers arrived at the location. The subject with the knife was known to the officers as Sarah Rae Repp, a 31-year-old female Simi Valley resident. Responding officers knew Repp from prior police-related contacts. Upon his arrival, Officer Cowan Jr. observed Repp running southbound on Yosemite Avenue and exited his vehicle north of her location. He called out to Repp by her first name in an attempt to get her to comply. Repp's actions appeared erratic and frantic, and the situation escalated quickly. Officer Cowan gave Repp lawful orders to get on the ground as she was the named suspect in a felony crime that had just occurred. Instead, Repp aggressively charged Officer Cowan Jr., holding a knife raised above her head. In addition, she can be heard yelling, "Shoot me," as she charged at Officer Cowan. What you're about to see is the video footage captured from the officer's body-worn camera.
Sarah, stop! Sarah, get. Hey, just get in my car. Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Shots fired, shots fired, victims down.
Don't move! Don't move! Don't move, Sarah! Don't move, Sarah!
Station 9, 3 Paul 4. Can you have AMR respond to my location? Shots fired.
I got you. Sarah, I got hands. You got hands?
Get gloves on. Hey, get over there, get over there.
Where's the knife? Right here.
It's right here, we got him.
Sarah, do you have anything else on you?
Get out!
Go away! Go away! Alright, go. Up. Here, don't move. Turn over. Turn over.
Station 9, 3 Paul 4. 1 detained, we need AMR to respond to our location.
Hey, do we have an IFAC? Hey!
Get your IFAC, bring it up!
Get an IFAC!
Get your IFAC, bring it up!
In the video you saw, the movement was fast. To provide accurate context to the event, we have slowed down the footage and highlighted the knife Repp wields as she attacked Officer Cowan. In these images, a knife can be seen in the hand above her head. The knife eventually fell to the ground and was later recovered as evidence. It is important to note that when officers become involved in situations such as what you just observed, our task is to preserve life. What you're about to see is an alternate view of officers rendering aid to Sarah Repp.
Sarah, you gotta relax, okay? You gotta find out where. It's gonna be right up here on top. Here. Do you have gauze or anything? Watch out. You got a kit? Yeah, I got a kit right here. Throw me some gauze. Here. I got pressure on. You got one wound? Sarah, try and stop moving around. Hey, Sarah, you gotta relax. I know it hurts. Just relax. Please. It's gonna be one. Just one. Sarah, you have any other pain anywhere else? Sarah, roll this way. You gotta roll this way, okay? Ready? Yeah. Yep. And move it. There you go. Let's I can try and squeeze it under her. Sarah, I need you to stop moving.
Roll this way.
Sarah,
Which way?
stop moving.
This way, and then I'm gonna grab the bottom. Okay. Hey, Sarah, roll over. Lift her up. Lift her up. Oh, grab it. Slide it this way.
Sarah.
Over the next several months, the Simi Valley Police Department will continue to investigate and analyze this incident. I appreciate your time and attention. The Simi Valley Police Department intends to provide the best quality of public safety, emphasizing community relations and transparency. You can find a copy of our use of force policy by going to the City of Simi Valley website and following the link to the police department and our policies, resources, and training tabs. Thank you.
All right, let's get into it. So I have to say they have a rather interesting intro to the video. It's almost like it's a production for a TV show. I don't know if that would be the greatest video intro for a department that's about to talk about one of their people having to shoot someone. I think this slide right here as an opening is just fine. The whole flashy lights and music at the beginning is a little too much. So here we have the crazy person with a knife swinging at people going into the 7-Eleven. Here's the overhead view. So here's this 7-Eleven that was being talked about at Los Angeles Avenue and Yosemite Avenue. The caller had said that he was at the donut shop next to the 7-Eleven, so I'm assuming it's probably this building or maybe this building here. Or heck, it'd even be this building over here. Not really sure. But her obvious path of travel after leaving 7-Eleven was going down this way. So they mentioned that the police have had prior contact with this woman. Not surprised. She looks kind of crazy, in my opinion. So she's probably, when they say that they've had multiple contacts with her, I take that as she's a frequent flyer. Probably a lot of drug issues with her. That seems to be, I would say, probably the norm. But yeah, she looks like she's probably on drugs to me.
Hey, just get in my car. Sarah!
He gets out of the car to begin with, and it looks like he has maybe his cell phone in his hand.
Sarah, stop!
I'm assuming he's trying to
Sarah!
put it in his pocket.
Sarah, stop! Sarah! Sarah, stop!
Going to something like this, I don't think that messing with a cell phone is something that should be at the top priority list. A cell phone mount on the dashboard is something that is needed, in my opinion. That way that phone can stay within eye view. You don't have to keep it in your lap or keep it in your hand while you're driving. Why he decided to, as he's going to this call and starting to get out, want to mess with his phone and have it in his hand and stow it away in a pocket, not really sure. I think that as he was driving down the road, it probably would have been easier for him to transition the phone into his pocket. That way, when he came to a stop, he could get out and not have to fiddle with the phone.
Sarah, stop! Sarah, get. Hey, just get in my car.
Not sure oh, I can't talk. Not sure who he's talking to when he says get in his car.
Sarah, get. Hey, just get in my car. Hey, just. Sarah, stop! Sarah! Sarah,
So listen
stop!
to her in the background.
Sarah, stop! Sarah, get. Hey, just get.
Yeah, she's on.
Get in my car.
Or she could just be that batshit crazy. I don't know. I'd say she's
Get on the
probably doing
ground!
something.
Get on the ground! 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 Get on the ground!
So it doesn't look like she touches the car any. That's one thing I noticed when I was replaying it.
Get on the ground! 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 Get on the ground!
Yeah, it doesn't appear as though she touches the car at all. I mean, I don't know if just the concussion off that gun would set the car alarm off.
Get on the ground!
If that's what's happening, then that makes me wonder if just cars driving by could make that car alarm go off.
Get on the ground! 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 Get on the ground!
Knife drops and falls right there.
Shots fired, victims down.
Don't move! Don't move! Don't move, Sarah! Don't move, Sarah!
Station 9, 3-4. Can you have AMR respond to my location?
So this officer here has a red dot sight. You can see that this one over here also has a red dot sight.
Shots fired.
Can't really tell about the third one. It's too far away for anything to be noticed.
I got hands. You got hands?
Get gloves on. Hey, get over there. Get over there.
Where's the knife? Right here.
It's right here. We got him.
Do you already have anything else on you?
Get out.
Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away.
I'm assuming that's people coming outside to record on their cell phone and yell World Star and just try and get in the way.
Go. Up. Here, don't move. Turn over. Turn over.
Station 9, 3-4. One detained. We need AMR to respond to our location.
Hey, do we have an IFAC? Hey.
Get your IFAC. Bring it up.
Get an IFAC.
Get the IFAC.
I've talked about medical aid before in other videos, and I'll always talk about medical in videos because it's an important aspect to deadly physical force. If you are in the business of carrying a gun for a living, then you should also carry or have available to you medical gear. If you have the tools to induce trauma, you should have the tools to reduce trauma. Not sure what particular brand this IFAC is. There's so many different companies out there that have different iterations of an IFAC or a blowout kit, a gunshot kit, bunch of different names for these kind of kits, and there's different setups for these kind of kits. This one appears to have some of the, very basic stuff in there. It has a cat tourniquet. It's got chest seals. Has a pressure bandage. Has shears, tape. Looks like gloves. I'd imagine this is probably gauze and some bandage wrap right in here. I mean, this is a basic no frills kit. Has the basic stuff you need in there for TCCC. The only thing that I see lacking is something to do with airway. I don't see any kind of like nasopharyngeal airway or oral airway adjuncts. This is a good kit to keep in the vehicle. However, this same stuff, most of the same kind of stuff, you can also keep on your person. So if your company, your agency does outer vests and they kind of let you have whatever on the outside of that outer vest, there's really no reason why you shouldn't have something similar to this mounted on your vest. If you got all these other pouches for everything else, you should have a pouch for medical. For those that don't have all that real estate, you can get a medical ankle holster, and a medical ankle holster is going to be able to carry pretty much this, some of this. You could probably even throw in that probably without the seatbelt cutter attached to it. And that would all fit in an ankle holster and be able to wrap around your ankle. And it doesn't print, it doesn't show off too much or any at all. And you could wear it just like you would an actual ankle holster with a gun in it. So if you already carry an ankle holster with a gun on it, there's really no reason why you couldn't carry a medical ankle holster on your other ankle. These kits right here, you can buy them from different distributors. For example, Galls or GT distributors, or heck, you could probably get on Cheaper Than Dirt and find a kit. Multiple places you can find these at. Of course, the range of price varies from vendor to vendor, but something like this is not going to break the bank. A store-bought kit like this, once you get it, you can actually beef it up some and add more stuff into it to kind of make it a super kit. Because as it is right now, this right here, of course, IFAC individual first aid kit, this is just for one person, right? It's not like it's going to treat multiple people. So you could buy a kit like this, and you notice how up here the chest seal goes in this pouch back here. You could likely put two or three more chest seal pouches back there. All the Molly / Pals webbing, whatever you want to call it, is here, and then these big webbing things right here. You could really put a lot inside this pack. You could take the shears out and potentially have the shears on the outside on this little pouch right here, and since it looks like it has a carrying case with a buckle, you could take the medical tape and run it through the little carrying loop thing right there. That way you have the tape on the outside, free up some space on here, and just cram pack it with more trauma stuff. And I would even argue that you could take a cat's tourniquet and rubber band it to this little carrying handle or sling, whatever this contraption is. You could rubber band a tourniquet to it, or even two tourniquets. So this one pouch right here could potentially have enough gear in it to treat more than one person. And of course, you can buy your own general purpose pouch that has nothing in it, and then buy your individual components and kit something out on your own. Lots of different options for having medical. There's really no reason why you shouldn't have any medical on you or in your vehicle.
Bring it up.
In The event, we have slowed down the footage and highlighted the knife Repp wields as she attacked Officer Cowan. In these images, a knife can be seen in the hand above her head. The knife eventually, these images, a knife can be seen in the hand above her head.
I'm assuming this is probably just some cheap dollar store or Walmart kind of knife.
The knife
But
eventually,
because it's cheap, doesn't mean it won't kill. It will
fell to the
definitely
ground
kill
and
you.
was later recovered as evidence. It is important to note that when officers become involved in situations about to see,
We've cuffed her for obvious reasons. One, she's still alive, and she's still awake. And so anytime that someone has tried to kill you and you've had to use physical force against them and they go down, just because they're not motivated to fight or appear to be fighting while they're on the ground doesn't mean that can't change later. So people who try to kill you should always be cuffed. Even if they're not moving and they appear unconscious, they should still be cuffed. There's been lots of times where people have been shot, they went down, they appeared to be unconscious or dead, and then they got back up. One of the more famous cases that's referenced a lot within the training community is an incident in Miami, Florida between the FBI and some bank robbers back in the 1980s. During this incident, the FBI went to make a stop on these guys. Gunfight started. In the very beginning of the gunfight, one of them took a round to the head. He was knocked out temporarily, and then during the middle of the gunfight, he woke up, crawled out of his car, and then went back to the vehicle of an FBI agent and got in it to try and escape. His partner, he took a fatal round through the side at the very beginning of the gunfight. That round, where it hit, landed within his heart, and he was going to die from that round. He just did not immediately die from it. So he took a lethal hit that he was going to die from it, but it was not immediately physically incapacitating. So he got shot that way, and then he got shot multiple more times. He took pistol and shotgun rounds and still stayed in the fight. And then at the very end, when after being shot multiple more times, and he was physically incapacitated, he was still alive after all those gunshots. And then eventually, a little bit after the gunfight had ended, finally passed away. So anyone that tries to kill you or hurt you like this, and you have to use force on them, they get cuffed no matter what.
Sarah, you gotta.
Now, does that maybe cause any complications with providing care? I don't think so. It may make trying to wrap a bandage around the torso and having to go under the arms a little bit more challenging, I guess you could say. But hey, I mean, if this impedes providing medical care, then oh well. You know, this person brought this shit upon themselves. They're the one who tried to kill you. They're the one who tried to kill someone else. The cuffs stay on as far as I'm concerned.
Relax, okay? Way to find out where to. It's gonna be right up here on top. Here. Do you have gauze or anything? Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. You got a kit? Yeah, I got a kit right here. Throw me some gauze. Here. I got pressure on. Can you open it? You got one wound? Sarah.
So typically we see men getting shot. Typically men are more likely to be out doing stupid shit.
Hey, Sarah, you gotta relax.
I wouldn't say rare, but
I know it hurts. Just relax.
Somewhat rare case. It's a woman. And when we use deadly physical force, of course, the rounds we fire are going, or should be going, center mass. When we have to provide medical care for these women, well, their shirt has to come off, and then also the bra would inevitably have to come off as well. So medical care is medical care. It is what it is. If they have to be topless during this, then they have to be topless. Just the same as if you were having to treat wounds on the upper thigh on a male and you had to take the underwear off and their penis is swinging around. You know what? It is what it is. It's medical care. If there's other people around recording video, oh well. These people brought it upon themselves. If they don't like the fact that someone was standing from the sidewalk recording and her boobies hanging out, then you know what? You shouldn't have tried swinging a knife at people. Better luck next time. But as far as you, the provider, don't let that be an issue that alters your ability to provide care. Cut all that upper clothing off, expose all the skin that you can see to see if there's any bullet holes. Because if you left the bra on and there was a round that went through the boob and into the chest area, and you left that bra on for decency purposes or whatever, you could be missing a wound that you need to be treating. So all the clothing needs to come off to be able to provide that medical care. And it doesn't matter if what's considered private parts are exposed.
It's gonna be this one. Sarah, you have any other pain anywhere else? Roll this Sarah, way. Roll this way. You're gonna roll this way, okay? Ready? Yeah. Yep. And move it.
Luckily, someone turned the car alarm off.
I can try and squeeze it under her. Sarah, I need you to stop moving. Roll this way. Sarah, which way? Stop moving.
This way, and then I'm gonna grab the bottom.
Okay. Hey, Sarah, roll over. Got it. Oh, lift her up. Lift her up. Oh, grab it. Slide it this way. Sarah.
Over the next several months, the Simi Valley Police Department.
Sarah.
So yeah, what I was talking about with the cuffs being behind the back and maybe impeding care. So you see he's trying to wrap this bandage around her. It's just something you have to work with. Now notice that they're all wearing gloves. That's a good thing. I've seen some other videos where people neglect to put gloves on. And when you're dealing with someone who is, I'm going to say that she's an obvious drug dealer. It looks like a duck, sounds like a duck, it's probably a duck, right? When you have obvious drug users out in the community, they don't make the brightest decisions in life, hence why they're drug addicts. If they have not been making those good decisions in life, then logic would say that they have not made other good decisions in life and have probably used needles that other people have used. They've been with some questionable sex partners, and they could have some type of bloodborne pathogen that you don't want. You don't want it, and you don't want to bring it home. So you should always glove up and keep you and your family protected from any bloodborne pathogens. If it takes you some extra time to put the gloves on, then by all means, it takes you that extra time to put gloves on. Don't rush in to try to save someone and then put yourself at risk and end up dying a few years down the road from AIDS or something, or hepatitis. Like that would be stupid. That would be a stupid way to die. Put your gloves on and put them on. I mean, if they're bleeding out while you're putting your gloves on, then so be it. They brought this upon themselves. They can sit there and bleed while you put your gloves on to make sure that you and your family is protected.
Don't move! Don't move! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Shots fired, victim.
So I noted earlier that he has a red dot sight.
Don't move!
The backup officer here has a red dot sight as well. The red dot sights are an emerging trend within law enforcement. I expect in the next decade for the majority of agencies out there to be using red dots on their guns. I think it's just inevitable that it's going to be that type of paradigm shift. Already with these videos from all across the nation, starting to see more and more red dots on police guns. Just this year, I want to say that LAPD made a large purchase for firearms. I want to say they bought a bunch of FN pistols. Don't quote me on that. But they did have red dots that came with them. So, this whole, I don't want to call it a fad, but this whole red dot thing that's kind of swept everyone up started, of course, in the private industry, and people were having to take their slides and send them in somewhere and have them cut to be able to put a red dot on there. Well, now the gun manufacturers are selling guns with removable plates, so you can take a plate off your slide and it has a cutout already to be able to put a red dot sight on there. And I think that in the next 10 years, it's just going to be a normal accessory on a gun. When you go to buy it, it already has a red dot built onto it, or attached to it. And so I think that's how a lot of these agencies going forward in the next 10 years, that's how they're going to buy their guns. Whoever they buy them from, they're going to sell them the gun with the red dot already attached to it. So I'm going to see, or I'm going to say that we're going to see in the next 10 years a huge shift in law enforcement, where we're going to see lots of different places predominantly using red dot sights. Red dot sights have pros and cons just like anything else, and I don't want to get too far into red dot sights. We'll have a video coming out about red dot sights, but I do think that from a training standpoint, it's probably easier to train a person initially who has no experience whatsoever with guns. They're just now coming into this work. I think it's easier to train them on the red dot sight versus, and with that training, train them on it, and then because the follow-up training or the continuing education aspect of it, when people get hired, they go through the academy. That's usually when they get their only real good firearms training, and then past that, it's usually just a bunch of bullshit qualification courses once a year or maybe twice a year, and then maybe some force on force continuation kind of classes, and then maybe their in-service classes. They might have a decent block of instruction on firearms training, but you can have people who 5 years after being hired and having gone through the academy, they haven't taken any actual good firearms training classes, and so their skills are kind of dropping. And when you think about iron sights and having to line them up perfectly and try to do that under stress, with someone coming at you with a knife or trying to shoot at you, I think it's easier to train a person initially on the red dots, and then even if they don't take good amount of firearms training within 5 years or after 5 years, it still should be pretty easy for them to put the red dot on the target and squeeze the trigger, and not have to line this front thing up with this back thing up and then try to remember to focus on that front thing and then have the target turn blurry and the rear thing turn blurry. I think that aspect is easier for the red dot. Of course, the only problem with red dot is your presentation of the gun. You got to be pretty solid on the presentation of the gun, or you're just not going to find the dot within the window. So anyway, don't want to get too far into red dots, but I do see red dots becoming more prominent in the next 10 years. That is about everything I want to talk about. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.